I just crossed 7 million streams on Spotify, and in this video, I want to share 4 hard-learned lessons that really made a difference in helping me find more real fans, real listener, and get real streams for my music on Spotify. Hey, it's John here at Hyped It. I just crossed 7 million streams for my music on Spotify, and I had the amazing privilege helping thousands of music artists accumulate millions and millions of streams for their music. And there are really 4 hard-learned lessons that I want to share with you here in this video, which make a big difference when it comes to attracting real fans, real listeners, and real streams for your music. Lesson number 1, don't be distracted by quantity. And here's what I mean by this. When I started promoting my music in the early days, all I cared about was getting in front of as many people as possible. Back at the time, I called this the shotgun approach to marketing, basically blasting your music all over the place, no matter whether you're getting in front of an audience that actually cares for your music or it doesn't, as long as it's lots and lots of people. Because I figured the more people you get in front of, the more of an audience you attract and the more fans you're going to grow. A good example of that used to be radio promotion. Music artists tried to get their music on radio because radio could literally put you in front of thousands, tens of thousands, or hundreds of thousands of people who would actually acoustically listen to your music. They would hear your song. It just didn't mean that they would care for it or come over and want to become your fans. And so in today's day and age, if you have limited resources, you have a limited budget to promote your music, and you're fighting for yourself as an independent music artist, that's no longer a viable path. Which brings me to lesson number 2, which is finding your super fans. So instead of being out there in front of everybody, what made a big difference for me is when I started just going after my super fans. I stopped chasing quantity and instead I went for quality. I wanted to put my music in places where I knew I was going to get in front of fans who already like the kind of music, like the style, like the genre of music that I make. Because that kind of audience is so easy to convert. They already love the style of music that you're making. So the moment they discover you, they have an instant interest in your music. Now, how do you actually do this? For me, that meant getting in front of diehard fans of my music genre directly as opposed to indirectly. So for example, I stopped putting money and resources into playlist promotion. Playlists put you on big lists of hundreds of songs in front of huge audiences, yes, quantity, but those fans are not there for your music. They are there because they started following this playlist at a certain point in time. And playlist curators actually have an interest in having diverse genres on their playlists because that can potentially attract a bigger listening audience. But it's very similar to radio. So you have these people streaming music off of a playlist. They're not there for you, they are there for the playlist. And they might acoustically hear your song and it might actually count as a stream and as a listener on Spotify, but they're very unlikely to become fans, to go over to your profile, check you out on Spotify, save your music, become repeat listeners. And that's not what I wanted. Instead, I wanted to get in front of diehard fans in my music genre. And one of the ways that I found that does this best is advertisement. Whether it's Facebook or Instagram or Google Ads with YouTube, all these advertising platforms allow you to laser target fans in a particular music genre or fans of artists that sound similar to you with really just a few pennies or a few dollars a day. Using those tools, I'm not getting my music in front of millions of listeners overnight, but I'm getting it in front of super diehard fans of my genre. And a lot of these fans, they start following me, they save my music, they add my music to playlists, they come back to stream my music over and over again. And the Spotify algorithm picks up on those signals. That's why a big portion of the 7 million streams that I've accumulated over time have come to me for free, just given to me by Spotify's algorithm, amplifying my music. Because all these real diehard fans have left a lot of positive signals on my music, and that's been feeding Spotify's algorithm. So that's been one of the most important shifts, going from promoting to everybody and everyone and as many people as possible to laser targeting a small group of diehard fans and bringing those into my world. Lesson number 3, remain consistent. Keep going with what works. I didn't get to 7 million streams overnight. It took some time, but it wasn't a difficult process either. And the reason is that once I got campaigns going that actually work, campaigns for specific songs to specific audiences on a specific platform, might it be Facebook, might be Instagram, could be YouTube, I'll just keep going. I keep these campaigns running. And what's so cool is that a listener who discovers my music for the first time, it is brand new to them, no matter when a particular track was released. So I have a couple tracks that are actually years old, and they are still amazing performers in my music promo, because somebody who hears these songs for the first time, to them it is brand new. And they just fall in love with these tracks. They come over, they want to check out more of my music, learn more about John Gold, and become really good fans. So I didn't have to launch a new promo campaign every couple of days and figure out new audiences and new songs and new ads and all of this. No, instead, I launched a handful. I found the ones that are working well. I kept them running. I stayed consistent. And it creates this ongoing flow of real fans, real listeners, and real streams coming over to my music. And that in turn constantly feeds the Spotify algorithm and makes sure that I remain on Discover Weekly with my music, that I get good release radar support whenever I drop a new song, and that Spotify Radio features my songs all the time. And so lesson number 4 is, remember that it's 2023. We're no longer dependent on old media like radio, where you had no control over who you got in front of. In this day and age, every independent music artist can very, very easily find their perfect diehard fan audience online just using the advertisement tools available to us. Technology has just been an amazing game changer, and so paying attention to what's happening in technology can be a real accelerator even to a music career today. Because it's the ultimate equalizer, right? You don't need a record label to sign your music. You don't need a radio promoter to put your music on air. And you don't need a playlist curator to put your music on their playlist. With the tools available today, you simply avoid all those gatekeepers and get directly in front of the fans. Now, if your goal is to get your music to millions of streams, you may choose the same path that I went on. You might choose a different path. In today's online music industry, there are countless paths to success. But the reason that I'm so passionate about the path that I took, specifically using high impact music ads on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube to get my music directly in front of diehard fans, is that it was extremely predictable. I didn't have to post on social media for years and hope that something eventually goes viral. I didn't have to wait for a record label to sign me. I didn't have to wait for playlist curators to let my music into their playlist. And I didn't have to rely on radio in the hopes that there are some diehard listeners out there finding my music that way. As a music artist with a full-time day job, a husband, a dad, it's just really important that the limited amount of time that I have really delivers predictable results and predictable growth. And that's why I want to leave you with this. If you're a passionate independent music artist and you want to start growing a lot more real fans, real listeners, and real streams for your music fast, building on the lessons that I learned in this video, and specifically using software and AI to do all the heavy lifting for you, then I invite you to check out a brand new video coaching program that I just launched. It's called the Spotify Growth Switch. And in this training, I'm going to show you step by step and literally click by click how to launch an automated promo machine that's going to feed your music on Spotify with a constant stream of diehard fans, diehard listeners, and real streams 24/7, even when you sleep. This is so easy. It works for any music genre, and it's literally as simple as flipping on a spotlight switch for your music. So if you're looking to get a lot more fans and listeners and real streams for your music, then let me leave a link below this video here so you can check out the Spotify Growth Switch. I think you're going to love it, and I can't wait to see you on the inside and soon in another video. Cheers.